You're eating to feed the belief. You're not eating to feed your body or your happiness. In fact, when you eat as
I don't like my body because it's fat and slow and gets tired too quickly. It restricts my urge to fly and keeps me awake sometimes at night.
Yes. I love that you would go for it. Let's do it. We think there's something personal. Let's get personal. That's what we come together for.
I don't like my hair because it's falling out. I don't like my body, it's too thin. I am saddened by what I have put my body through. I don't like my body, for it is ugly. I am afraid I am dying.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful.
I don't like death because it's totally unknown. I can't stand that I have no control over it. My friend Ann has cancer and might be dying on me. My parents are aging and dying on me. So much of me is dying, and I have no control over it. I don't understand it. It scares the hell out of me. It's not something that's manageable. I just can't deal with it. I want to run away. It's this thing that I don't understand and just looms over me.
Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful, Ruby.
I don't like God because she has not given me enough time to decide if I want children or not. And I don't like God because she made me focus on my emotional issues for so long that I've lost my youth and maybe my fertility.
Yes. Excellent. Wonderful, Christy. You speak for so many.
I don't like my body because it's growing old. I have lines on my face and I don't look as young. I'm not as flexible as I used to be. My memory is not as sharp. I'm not as moist. I don't have the energy I used to. And I'm cold so easily, so often.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's go in. You're all pointing it out. That's wonderful. The work points out. So let's continue and do 2 through 6. Pointing it out there at the body, God, aging, or anything else you would like. Unlimited. Okay, sweetheart.
Well, I didn't think I had a whole lot of body issues or aging issues or death issues, so I basically came to hear everybody else do their work. So just in case, I wrote a few things down.
One thing I like about Edgar is, he stays in it just in case.
Okay, number 1. I don't like my body when it's too heavy. I don't like my body when it squeezes into clothes that are just a bit too small. And I'm afraid of death because I think it's going to be a painful experience.
Yes. So read the first sentence again, Edgar.
I don't like my body when it's too heavy.
Okay. Now, in your little book, there are 4 questions. I call it the inquiry or the investigation. And there are 4 of them. So, first of all, what is too heavy? Isn't it your opinion anyway? Your belief system. And why do you want it to be a certain way? You see, what are you going to get? You see, if you live your ideal weight, you're going to get something. You want something. Okay, so take a look at what it is. If you want to be a certain weight for your health, it's the fear of dying. If you want it to be a certain way so that you can attract people or a relationship of any kind, we could say even an intimate relationship, what is that relationship for? And we can play this all the way to the death. It's all about someone is going to be there with you while you're on your deathbed to pull you from the snatches of death. Or someone is going to support you and keep you from starving, etc., so that you don't die. Everything goes back to that, to dying alone. Everything. There's no belief that you attach to that arises that isn't about that. We're going to be playing with that. So you should be, again, Edgar.
I don't like my body when it's too heavy.
Okay, your body should not be too heavy. Can you really know that?
No, it's just all my personal preference and ideals that I've come along and said, okay, that's what I want to be, and that's how I want to look, and that's the image I want to present. And
to get what I want.
Exactly.
Yeah. So your body should not be too heavy. Can you really know that that's true? Those of you who experience your life as being too heavy or too thin, it's certainly not okay. Can you really know that? You should be heavier or lighter. Can you really know that? Yeah, that's what the doctors say. Yeah, that's what your friends say. Yeah, that's what you say. And can you really know that it's true? Go inside. Let me see. I think I know more than reality. When I think I know more than reality, I become extremely uncomfortable. It says I'm not all right the way I am. So I use my body, beliefs about my body, to move from presence, from being present. The body's an outside source. There are only 3 kinds of business in the universe: mine, yours, and God's. Whose business is my body? It's not mine. My body is not my business. My mind is my business. How perfect that I would keep my attention on my body and what it weighs, or its health, or its appearance. How perfect that I would use that as my mantra not to be present. Not to be present. So, what do you get for holding the belief, Edgar, that your body should not be heavy?
I got a built-in excuse to be not happy.
Yes.
Or not okay with myself.
Yes.
And I think that other people would have the same point of view, and it just sets up a separation right away.
Yes. Yes. Oh, my. Can you hear it? Okay, let's hear some others. What do you get for holding the belief that you're too heavy or too thin? Feel it. You are your enemy. You are separate from yourself. Not one with. What else do you get for holding the belief? Suffering. Incredible dieting.
It's got to be different than the way they are. They're not okay. Mike.
Yeah.
Put it on when you get it set.
Just leave it on.
Yeah, leave it on.
I'm not okay. The world isn't okay. It should be different.
Yes. And God has struck me with this metabolism or this or this or this.
What I see is every mouthful, every piece of food, or every action is actually abuse, self-abuse.
Open the door there. He's on. Good. I think that he may have the belief there's no room. Good. Welcome. Welcome home.
Thank you.
Hi, honey. Welcome. Welcome. Again, you're welcome to lie down here, lie in each other's lap, whatever you would like. Yeah. We had, I don't know the numbers, we could say 30 people on a rock in Sedona we had to climb up on. Huge rock, and the belief was it would hold maybe 7 safely. There were 30, we could say 30 of us up there. We did the work up there, and one man fell. And had an incredible experience. He tried to, he said as he was falling, he knew his head was going to hit the rocks. So that's what he was avoiding, and so he went for the tree instead. And in this tree, in the fork of this tree, was this rock that had grown into it. And he hit it just dead on the back of his head. And that's where he landed from. It was a very high boulder. And he got to experience about death. I think there were 3 doctors there that just started running for him, and other people also. And I was up on top of the rock, and he was down here lying saying, "Oh shit," because the fear of death is very big. And so we did the work just like that, just eye to eye, and it was fine. Then we did this work around that, and people, when they were writing, here were their beliefs: that we would have to call an ambulance and the workshop would be over, that they wouldn't have an opportunity to do their work. It just went on and on and on, reporting our thinking the way it really is, uncensored, and then going in and inquiring so that we befriend ourselves. We turned out to be everything we called you. I turned out to be everything I called you. So what are some others? What else do you get for holding the belief that you're too heavy? Yes, honey. Yes.
I always compare myself to others and don't measure up. It's very painful. And it doesn't matter who it is anymore. Yes. I just don't measure up.
Yes. So what do we get for holding the belief? Comparison. Always using an outside source to compare that this outside source isn't enough.
It's basically an excuse for everything that I'm not doing.
Yes.
Or don't have.
Yes. Let's pass it back there. This is an old myth. I'm too heavy. I'm too short. I'm too tall. I'm too thin.
I also get to judge other people who are too fat.
Yes.
Put a judgment on them.
Yes. If you think you are too heavy, you don't really merge with people who are too heavy. If you are your enemy, then you see us as that.
And also the belief that other people won't like me. I'm too fat, therefore I'm not worthy.
Yes. Okay, now I want to ask you, who or what would you be if you did not hold the belief that you were too heavy or too thin? If it never occurred to you again.
Self-accepting. Like free.
Free. Now, one belief is if you never had the belief again that you were too heavy or too thin, if it never arose again, you would get very, very fat.
Mm-hmm.
Or very, very thin, depending on what polarity you were coming from. Now I would ask you, if you did not hold the belief, can you know that you would become too fat or too thin? Without that abuse,
I have to sense that if I didn't have... Wait.
I'm too heavy. That's abuse. That is mental abuse. You know how you abuse your children? You know how you hate it? That's what you're doing to you. The reason it works that way is, how do I know I'm to weigh this? I do. How do I know what my perfect weight is? I'm this. This is it. How do I know I'm the perfect age? This is it. The perfect everything. Now, how do I know? Here it is. I could say God is everything, but not my weight, not my color, not my height. No, God is everything. So when I have the belief that I am too heavy or I am too thin or tall or short, whatever it is, I am saying God is everything but not this. So I have moved into a lie, and that's the place where I become uncomfortable. Not my weight that's making me uncomfortable. It's the lie that's making me uncomfortable. Sweetheart, you were going to say?
Yeah, I had this experience when you said if you didn't have this belief, it would be as if I just knew exactly what was needed. Without the belief, I would just know I'm hungry, I'm tired. There wouldn't be any belief around it. It would just be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's no body, really. It would just be an experience. And
yes.
I would just do what was appropriate.
Yes. Yes, without the abuse.
Right.
Or without the sweet talk or the abusive talk. You would just know.
Yeah, it's like that thought keeps me from knowing.
Yes.
It cuts me off from just knowing what's true.
Yes.
I experienced not so much that I would get too fat or too thin, but that I would have to withdraw from the world. That, television and magazines and mailings and Weight Watchers and everything and doctor's reports that would be constantly reminding me to come out of that peaceful place, that somehow I would have to shut it all off, and then I'd be all by myself and fat.
Yes, and can you know that would happen? That's a good one. Yeah, doesn't she tell it? Without that belief, that scenario would happen. Can you really know that? Yes. So, Edgar, what was your experience? Who or what would you be without the belief?
I'd just be okay. It would just be a non-issue.
Yeah. At 800 pounds or 65 pounds, you would be free.
Right. Just be free to buy bigger clothes.
Yes. Yes. Free to be comfortable. Yeah. 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 But you certainly wouldn't be attractive. Can you really know that?
I can't know that.
No. And what do you get for holding the belief? Tight clothes. Yeah. People who are too heavy are, they really don't care about themselves. Can you really know that? And whose business are they? If I look at you and I think you're too fat, I'm out of my business and I'm going to hurt. Because to see you as to this or to that says that God isn't minding his business. And if he is, he's doing it wrong. And that's how I stay separate from people who are overweight or underweight or this color or that height or male or female. That's specifically how we do it. How perfect that I would see you as too heavy so I don't have to merge with you. It's how you stay separate. And to be separate is to be insane, confused. And the only suffering is confusion. There isn't any other suffering. There's no other suffering in the cosmos. Sanity doesn't suffer ever, ever. Yes, honey.
Okay, so I look at my belief, and it is that I wouldn't be fat if I was living in my truth.
That's exactly so. You wouldn't be fat, you wouldn't be thin. It would just be our opinion, our story about she's too fat, she's too thin, she's too tall, she's too short. And you wouldn't have a story. You'd just be saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're just defining who we think you are. What does that have to do with you?
Well, it's what I have to do with, but my body's not my business.
My body is not my business. How do I know? Because when I get into an outside source, my body, I'm not present. I'm not clear. It's called fear. Separation. It's nothing more than just one more metaphor to use not to be present with. My body and I are one, not two. We're one. We're the same. Perfect. Undivided. Present. Same.
So if I have the thought, if I know what to put in my mouth, and I don't do that, I feel like, well, I did something wrong because I knew not to put it in my mouth, and I did.
You have the belief that there's something you shouldn't put in your mouth. Can you really know that? You haven't put arsenic in, someone hasn't brought you a plate of arsenic and said, here, sweetheart, eat it. You would say, no, thank you. Because there's a huge common belief that we shouldn't eat arsenic, that death is not equal to life. So we bring you that plate and you say no. No, thank you. Not today. Well, that's all food. Food is God. Food is God. And only peace eats or doesn't eat. It's the truth in the moment.
It's duh. It's just God. It's just bringing me home.
Yes, honey. Yeah.
No mistakes.
Yes. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Okay, I can win.
It's the beginning. Okay, and the next sentence, Edgar.
Okay. I don't like my body when it squeezes into clothes that are a bit too small.
Okay. So, I hear that. Okay. So, put the word mind on it and see how you would play with that.
Okay. I don't like my mind when it squeezes into beliefs that are a bit too small.
Yeah. Like I should not buy larger clothes, should or shouldn't. Yeah.
Read the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm afraid of death because I think it's going to be a painful experience.
Okay. And what do you get when you hold the belief that death could be a painful experience?
I get to live in fear. I get to live uptight. I get to be out of the present moment, preoccupied, closed down, become inactive, not reaching out, just a pulling in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, read it again.
I'm afraid of death because I think that it's going to be a painful experience.
Yeah. It's going to be a painful experience. Can you really know that? Is it true? Can you really know that?
The first thing that comes up is all the war movies and the drama movies and airplanes crashing and my Hollywood picture of death, which is really the only picture of death that I really have, is one of pain and suffering and dismemberment and untimeliness and a real loud this shouldn't be.
Untimeliness, that's a good one.
Right.
Like there's a time
not yet,
for that.
Not now. Right.
I heard a man 90 years old say the very same thing.
So my idea of death is the literary, TV, cinematic ways that they show death, which is usually a painful experience, a great loss, or incredibly painful.
Yeah. So it could be that way for you. Can you really know that?
I can't know that.
Yeah. And what do you get for holding the belief?
Lack of peace.
Living carefully.
Living carefully.
What you call, we have names for it, like healthfully, carefully.
Right. I won't climb that rock.
Pardon?
I won't climb that rock with you guys.
I won't climb that rock. Oh,
like
my.
That. I'll pull in somewhere.
Yeah. It sounds like a death, like a living coffin.
It's half alive, or less than half alive.
Yeah. So worried about it that it doesn't experience itself. So always being careful not to experience that so that it misses what is. Now, sweetheart, if you, dismemberment, if you lost your arms, you would not be okay. Can you really know that?
No, I can't know that.
And if it just happened, it would be more pain than you can bear. Can you really know that? No. When we're in a painful place, my experience is we move to another reality. And the only people who suffer are the ones watching it, because they're projecting what that would be. But the ones that it's happening to have different stories. They hit some amazing realization. That's what arms are for. Dismembered arms are for. The ones actually experiencing it are a lot better off than the ones projecting. Because we're projecting what Edgar's describing here. Oh my God, I couldn't do that. Oh my God, that's terrible. Oh my God, I have to be careful. And in that space, we can't serve the one that's asking for help. Because we're the ones that need the help at the moment. We're insane. With fear. And the fear comes from it's not okay to have your arms blown off.
So I was saying my father used to beat up my older brother. And it was so painful for me. And I was rather beat me. It would not be painful for me, like just watching him.
And you and I are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. Now, it's a huge ego, even when we come to this realization that we just heard, it's a huge ego that would say, I could handle it, but he can't. He can't handle it. Can I really know that? What do I get for holding the belief? You see, I'm up here, my brother's down here. Oh, it comes off like, let's play with it all. It comes off like this kindness that, oh, I should be beaten. He can't, so then you get to be up here. You see, and this is the place, level. No higher, no lower. The same one.
The opposite too? Like?
Yes, the opposite. We would go the other way.
Yeah, I was just thinking, he can handle it, but I couldn't.
Yes.
It's
the same. Yeah. He can handle it, but I couldn't. So then again, the inquiry, I couldn't handle it. Can I really know that that's true? What do I get for holding the belief? I let you die while I walk away, and you're better off than I am because I'm living a death the rest of my life saying I should have.
So what do you do with death when you say level? I mean, just
we
be
just
with them
get honest and
experience?
sanity is one with. Clarity is one with. You could be with someone and it doesn't matter what kind of pain and suffering they appear to be experiencing. When you're clear, it doesn't exist. And love is just there. It's just there to hold and care for. It's its nature. But fear, to take your body there to help that person because they've asked, or because you just know to do that. To go in that kind of tear is to take your tear to that person. It's to teach tear. I'm dying here. I'm on the way out. I look into your eyes, and what I see is, oh my God, I'm in deep doo-doo here. But if you come to me in peace and hold me in the same way, I look into your eyes and I can see my nature through you. There is nothing to fear. But you can't give what you don't have. Isn't that perfect? Watch how it is that you go to someone. And watch what it is that you're trying to hide that's so painful that you're afraid they're going to see your fear. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Hear what you're saying. You're the one that needs to hear it. Everything already is okay. Except for your opinion. And you're not speaking your true opinion. You're saying an opposite.
So, Katie, what if I just heard at the same time, what if you do take yourself there because of whatever moves you're there, and you give yourself honestly there, including your fear and your pain, and isn't that just the same then?
That is truth.
Okay.
That way I can join you. Because you're speaking a truth. You're speaking my mind too. It's a friend who's joining me. One. Yeah, I can merge with that.
Yeah, I know that I can deceive myself so easy. It's like seeing a grasshopper or a bug in the house, and I run get some paper to pick them up so I don't hurt them. I'm hurting myself. Who knows what the bug, if it feels anything or not. It feels like compassion, but it's really
your fear of death.
My fear of death. Yeah, my fear of pain. Being smashed, squished.
Yes. So when you get really, you do this work long enough, you come to see that it's all just an illusion. Like we're sitting in this chair very comfortably, sweatshirt, we're in this space, and there's a war zone going on within me. A war zone. My arms are flying, I'm being dismembered, and it's not a great big obvious thing. It's just kind of a constant thing we live with, being careful. You see, being protected. And that constant leakage of poison within us is this attaching to this belief system that just keeps us protected. We think. And actually, it's just a slow letting out of poison because it's the lie, the lie, the lie. I have to be careful. No. No, not ever. Not ever. Not ever. No. So when you come to know that it's just, this war zone in our head going on, then when you step on the grasshopper, it's comfortable. When you pick him up with the paper, it's comfortable. You just know what to do. And what actually happens is different every time. That's what's so sweet about truth. Is one time this is honest, the next time this is honest.
That's good.
If I'm in a hurry, just step on him.
Yeah.
You see, if I'm in the belief that I need to hurry, I notice how I just step on him and I'm just going to forget that. And if I'm in this really spiritual place, I pick him up with the paper and put. But when you notice you have other priorities, that grasshopper is out of here.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Depends a lot on, like you say, priorities.
Yes. Yeah. So just watching and watching and watching you move and the belief that comes up. I'm a terrible person for squashing the grasshopper. People should not squash grasshoppers. Is it true? Well, I don't think so. I just did. So what do I get for holding the belief that I shouldn't? I get to be a murderer. I get to be someone with no compassion. And I'm going to pay. God's going to get me. I'm going to get smashed. Oh, there's so many of them. So many of them. And who would you be without the belief? One who would just move around the grasshopper. Or not. I tell the story of walking up the street several years ago. I noticed that I stepped on a whole, I looked down and my foot was just coming down on this whole community of ants. And I felt nothing. I felt nothing. Just interest, if interest. And then the next day I'm walking and I get close to that place and it comes to me about the ants. And I walk all the way around it. Equal. And I found it, if anything, interesting. You see? To step on the ants, to not step on the ants. Equal. I was conscious both ways, and that was the difference. Integrity to step on the ants. How do I know? My foot came down on them and did it. It was an appearance. To walk around them, equal to the other. It was just appearance. I appear as this. I appear as this. Any questions you have around this?
Katie, how does that apply to killing people? Wait. Mike, before you speak.
How does that apply to killing people?
The same. There's no exception.
So if we know someone that kills people sometimes, well, obviously because it's right, because that's what they're doing.
People should not kill people. That's an old myth.
But it's very bad karma to do that.
And can you know that? That's just something else to hold up the myth that death isn't okay. How do I know that death is okay? People are dying everywhere. We're burying them everywhere. We've got miles of cemeteries, and we say people shouldn't die. How do I know they should die? Let's look at reality.
Well, suppose that somebody came here. Maybe didn't have a lot of integrity, and listened to some of this and says, "Oh, great. Well, it's okay if I go rob the store, because."
Well, how do we know that that's their property? They've got it. My belief that they shouldn't is how I hurt me.
So if I just got completely away from the belief that I should not kill anybody, if I just completely were able to let go of that belief and chose to go kill someone, that would be okay?
No, that's not my experience. I can only speak for myself. If I think that people should not kill people, I need to turn it around. I should not kill people. It's my prescription for happiness, not theirs. How do I know people should kill people? They're doing it. I mean, haven't you noticed? And my belief that they should stop that doesn't work. Haven't you noticed? All the prisons in the world haven't worked. Haven't you noticed? I can't walk in certain areas. I have to lock my doors in fear instead of just locking them. There's certain countries I can't go into because I might get hurt. Certain parts of our... I'm not free, bottom line. Who would I be without the belief? Free. To come and go honestly. As myself. Fearless. In freedom. The world should not kill. Turn it around. I should not kill. That's it. You think we should stop? You stop. When you think that I should not kill, all I can hear from you is that you don't like me, you're not one with me, and I don't want what you have. You have done the war here. Can you hear it? I haven't. You have. You say I should not kill. All I hear is, you want me out of here. I can't hear you at all. It makes me want to kill you. When you say I should not kill, as as we move through, some of you that may be a little uncomfortable with this?
I am.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't really... Yeah.
I don't know really why or what, but it seems like, what about ethical laws, inborn laws? Is there anything, that's what I believe, that there
people
is
are killing, people
like
are
that.
not killing. I don't know anything about internal laws. I only know if I think you shouldn't kill, let me try it. I'm killing myself with the belief that you should not kill. Feel the stress? You should not kill. You feel the stress? I'm calling my brother a murderer, and I'm of no help to my brother except to point the finger at him saying, wrong, wrong, bad, bad, do it my way. Yeah, this really is appealing, isn't it?
I would like to tell my son not to kill.
Well, good luck.
I mean, as a mother, I would like to say things like that.
Yes, and you say it to him so you can hear it. He's nothing more than a reflection of yourself. So if I want to tell my son to not kill, then that's what I'm going to do. And if I'm teaching fear, I want to take a look at it. If there's anything, if I'm teaching him not to kill from fear, then I want to... We're really going to get into this stuff the next 3 days. We're just coming down hard now, just trying to find a place here. If my son said, Mom, you know, I feel like killing someone, I go back into the place where I understand. And I say, and I tell him that, I understand that. And, you know, it wouldn't work for me because my thought is they would put me in jail and I would rather be out. And I understand how you feel. You know, that way I've joined him. And I've given him my internal experience. And my internal experience would be, you know, I don't want to kill because to hurt anything is uncomfortable for me. Change anything from the way it exists is uncomfortable for me. I think God does a better job at that than I do. You see? So isn't that as honest than to say, you know, don't kill? But what we're going to do the next 3 days is go inside and know ourselves so we do know what to tell our children. But a lot of us don't know what to tell our children because we don't know ourselves yet. So we only know the laws about don't kill, don't steal. So we're just going to go in a little deeper.
I wonder if when I say that I don't want someone to kill, I'm not just basically protecting myself from that part of me that wants to kill.
Always. If there are killers out there, it could mean you're next. That's it.
To do either way.
Yeah.
Done to or...
Yes. 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 It's always that.
It's funny, I was thinking about this, but in the space where I'm really in the belief that somebody shouldn't kill, you know, I'm also in this space where I can find a belief that says, but it's okay if it's a war, or if it's okay if they're killing your child, or if it's okay if, you know, and then there's this huge story around with it too. You know, my son shouldn't kill unless, when I'm in that belief, you know, I have this huge story that holds up why they shouldn't and I can. And it's really painful because it doesn't go anywhere. It just whirlwinds. Yeah.
And see, there's just not ever going to be a right or wrong in the material world. There can't be. It's so confused. There can only be the truth in the moment and you being clear enough to experience the peace with it. That's all. That's what we're doing here. Okay, Edgar, let's move with it and play so we can actually see the work in progress.
Okay. The same one or...
Let's go to number 2.
Number 2, okay. My body wants all the foods that are supposed to be bad for me.
Okay, put the words... Now, bodies don't crave, bodies don't want, bodies don't know, they don't care. They don't get hungry. They don't get thirsty. Okay? So put the word mind on it.
My mind wants all the foods that are supposed to be bad for me.
Yes. And as a result of, like, seeing, like, ice cream, for example, some of you alcohol, drugs, what the mind attaches to that is what the body reflects. There are no addiction, no physical addictions. There are only mental addictions. Body follows mind. It doesn't have a choice. Actually, it's simultaneous, but as long as you are in a duality, you're mentally experiencing a duality, body follows mind. You have a thought, and then the feeling comes. So you've been acting on a feeling, experiencing chaos. That's what you have. So if you have a feeling, and rather than act on the feeling, go back up and heal the mind that is cause of the feeling. Feeling's effect. Feeling is the effect of mind. If you go back and heal the mind in the way that we're practicing here, 4 questions and a turnaround, you go back and heal the thought, the feeling changes. The expression for that is the truth will set you free. Pretty simple stuff. So when you point at the body and you put the word mind on it, you stay present, and there is no hunger there. Haven't you noticed? There's no hunger, no thirst, no pain, no suffering. You know, in that time where you're one with, there's no hunger there. There's no craving there. The only hunger is the hunger for God. It's our only thirst. So let's look at the next one, Edgar.
Okay. My body wants stimulants, sweets, and sexual excitement.
Okay. My mind.
My mind wants stimulants, sweets, and sexual excitement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone that does not follow this? Isn't that as true? My mind wants sweets. Yeah, anything sweet enough to pull it away from presence. Yes, honey.
So I have a belief that...
Mike. He's got it.
So I have a belief that certain foods are really good for me.
Yes.
And I love eating those foods.
Yes.
And I feel good when I eat them.
Yes.
So I feel like it's part of loving myself.
Yes. That just sounds very sweet from here. Yeah.
That's it?
You sound like a person that is just very clear in living it. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds very sweet.
He's doing it right.
No, you're supposed to tell me there's something wrong with this belief.
And it just sounded resonating from here. You have belief system about what you do best with, and you're living it, and it's working. I don't have any other information from you except it's just a very peaceful, honest way of living. The war zone starts when you have the belief that you should move away from your truth. And then you act on it, and then the war zone starts. I'm wrong, I'm bad, I shouldn't do it, I'm going to not be as healthy, on and on and on. So next time it comes to eat that, you can ask, is it true? You know, I want that. Is it true? Well, let me see. I want the war zone, or do I want peace? Just a way of living your truth. Another person could live on ice cream cake, you know, hot dogs, whatever. But you're one who would do it this way, I'm hearing.
So maybe the war zone that I'm in is when I see other people eating ice cream going, oh, God, look what they're doing.
Yes, that would be your war zone. Because my ice cream is your carrot. You just can't know me. Can you know yourself? Yeah. I have one of my sons likes that he eats a certain way. And he used to be very uncomfortable watching other people eat not like he does. And he finally did the work that you may be stepping into right now. Like, they shouldn't eat that junk food. And then, can I really know that? What do I get for holding that belief? Separate from my brother. And you feel it, it's stressful to worry about the whole world. And the only reason you do it is so you don't have to be present. There's nothing else that we get from it. So who would you be if you didn't hold the belief that you think you know more about what we should eat than you do?
Yeah, I'd be free to just be who I am.
Yes.
Yeah, because, I pass McDonald's and I just like shaking my head and seeing people going in there.
Yeah.
A lot of energy goes into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There's one here.
I'd like to just follow up on that point because it's been an issue of concern for me. So if statistically people eating saturated fat and cholesterol can kill them, and statistically it's shown that way, then what you're saying is it becomes a problem for me if it creates stress in my life, because when I had breakfast in Denny's, I watched all these people killing themselves on the menu, which just got me sick.
Yeah.
But if it didn't get me sick, knowing that they're still killing themselves, and I chose to eat a way that was comfortable for my body, and I had my beliefs, had my understandings, but it was not it wasn't taking my time away from me. It wasn't a fixation of me. And then what you're saying is then that's okay.
Yes. They're killing themselves with all that grease. I'm killing myself with the belief that they shouldn't eat the grease.
The upset.
Yes. Their grease is eating it that way. My grease is eating that I know more than they do.
So if I stay in my... So if I put my attention on them and the upsets on them, then I'm in their business.
Yeah,
but
you're doing great.
But if I know that if I just objectively, academically know that they're killing themselves, but yes. I enjoy my fruit and my breakfast my way, academically knowing what they're doing, but just like it didn't matter, just.
They're killing themselves with that. Can you really know that?
Statistically, I do.
And that could have been the only hamburger they've had in 10 years. You see how we tell the story of how they're dying and how I'm better than they are, I'm wiser than they are, I'm doing it right, they're doing it wrong, and here we are. I'm way up here and they're down here. But only everyone at Denny's. I'm up here, they're down there. So what do I get for holding the belief that they're doing it wrong, or that they could, or that they're killing themselves? I'm killing myself with the belief that they're killing themselves.
Because it creates stress within me. But if it didn't create stress within me and I just watched it as a movie or an academic exercise, then that's not an issue then.
Yes. And going back to the question, they're killing themselves, could you really know that? And answering it honestly. You can't know me. You cannot know me. I have a friend named Yuji Krishnamurti, and he laughs. He says, I live on grease. He says, I live on fat. I live on it. And he says, come. And he shows me his refrigerator, and he's got pints of half and half. And he says, well, it doesn't matter. The man's free. The man's free. We just can't know the other. So here's what we do. 4 questions and a turnaround. We played with some of them. They should not eat, those people at Denny's should not eat that grease turned around. I should not eat the grease.
And I don't.
And you don't, and you honor it.
Right.
So they should eat the grease. Can I really know that? No. Turned around, I shouldn't eat the grease. The grease of judging them. And the reason I shouldn't judge them is not so I'm a good boy or a good girl. The reason I shouldn't judge them is that I hurt me when I do that. And I'm only saying about them what I need to hear. It's not ever going to change. They should know what they're doing. Turned around, oh, I should know what I'm doing. I'm out of my business again. I'll use anything, even people's eating habits, not to be present. That's the purpose of a hamburger. You don't have to be present. That's its only purpose. Got it, didn't you? Just pass it up here to Ellen.
So I have to ask this, so why don't I want to be present?
To be present is to die. It's the fear of death again. To be present is to die. And it's not to die of the body. It's to die of what we call the ego.
Thank you.
Yeah. You knew that one, didn't you?
So you can be present and eat chocolate or whatever is there. I mean, as long as you're present, it doesn't matter. It's just arising.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in cause and effect. Say chocolate could get you hyper. I should not be hyper. Is it true? You know, and if your face breaks out from chocolate, you see, if you use it as cause and effect to live your truth, it's a really peaceful, beautiful thing. But if you use it to beat yourself up with, to force yourself into living a certain way, you know, you just eventually will notice that abuse doesn't work. You know, child abuse doesn't work, and you're the child you're abusing. Get honest rather than brutal. Yes, honey.
Suggestion. Could you read it with belief? Put the word belief on there. Yeah. For me.
My beliefs want stimulants, sweets, and sexual excitement. Right.
Yeah. And sexual excitement is a really good one because I don't have to be present there. I'm using an outside source to stay stimulated because if I am present, all the beliefs coming up are the kind of stimulation I don't want. I have got to stop them. So rather than getting honest about what's arising, inquiring, turn it around, I'll stay out of that business of knowing myself with sexual stimulation or food, or my body is too heavy or too light. This inquiry and turnaround. It is better than sex. Because you can continue to do it, and sex, you know, you fall asleep or need a cigarette.
Or chocolate.
Or chocolate. One's efforting, one's not. One is eternal freedom, one is temporary.
Okay, number 3. My body should be stronger, trimmer, and more energetic.
Okay, is that true?
I can't know that.
Yeah. And what do you get for holding the belief?
Not okay with what it is now.
Yes, and it really gets rough when old age, as we term it, starts setting in. Yeah, if we do it now, we can't even get old, you know, without arguing with it. Yeah. So who would you be if you did not hold the belief?
It's fine the way I am.
Yes. Moving fast, moving slow, moving old, moving young, moving arthritically, not arthritically, whatever it would be.
Okay. Should I reverse that?
Yeah.
Okay. Reversed, my mind should be stronger, trimmer, and more energetic.
Yes. Yeah. More energetic. Yeah, more energetic in finding the truth from what arises, in what arises.
Stronger in finding the truth.
Yes.
Trimmer in finding the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Lean and fast. And you can do it with absolute total paralysis. Leaner and stronger and faster at finding the truth. It doesn't even take a body to do it. To find complete, total joy, you don't need a body to do it. a functioning body in the way that you might think functioning. Isn't that fine? There's only one joy, knowing yourself. Just to know yourself. Yes. Right.
Something you just said kind of clicked in my head. I work out at the health club 4 or 5 days a week. And I noticed that when I work out so that I look younger, better, physically trim, or that every time I go to stress and, I'm raising my good cholesterol and, increasing my endurance so that I don't die sooner, I'm doing it in a way that's not peaceful. But there are times when I actually just start working out because it's fun, and when I go and I do a lot of swimming, and when I do the swimming, and I just be there with each stroke of the water and feel the water around my body, rather than each stroke is taking so many minutes, extending my life. I think that's what you mean by being present.
Because one is true and one's a lie.
So
each stroke extending your life. Can you know that?
Not really.
Not at all.
But it feels good when I'm doing it.
You step out of the gym and a truck hits you.
So feeling the water and just
it's
relaxing in this, looking at the stars.
One with the water and your body and the move. In other words, present.
Yeah.
So when you move into this is saving my life, it's a way of scaring you into physical involvement. One way is peaceful. It's like you're going to do the same thing. One's heaven, one's hell. You get to call the shot on it.
So it's like going to a singles dance and judging each person as the potential future mate, as they'll be 5-10 years from now, etc. Rather than just enjoying talking with and dancing with the person and let it happen if it happens.
I would rather do the marriage from here rather than 10 years up the road from here. Yeah, I'll just have it now. Yeah, that's how I live with my husband. Just now, every breath. So good. Someone asked me, do I want to be married to him in 10 years? I said, oh my, don't bother me with that. I've got this now. 10 years, I don't know about that. Look at that guy now. And if I see anything that he should change, I turn it around. He should be younger, turn it around. He should be older, turn it around. Is it true? Inquire. Younger in my thinking, more mature in my thinking. Nothing can cost me my husband or you. Because the only thing that can cost me my husband or you is the thought that arises that I attach to that's untrue. That's how I move from you. That's how the marriage ends. And I like marriage. One.
Would you repeat that again, please?
I am one with my husband until I have the belief he shouldn't look a certain way or give me something or be something other than what he is. And that's how I divorce. Right there in that moment, I've lost my marriage. And when I inquire, like he should do it differently, is it true? No. How do I know he should not do it differently? He's doing it this way. And I'm back, one with him. And the whole world. Myself. Only my attachment to an erroneous belief separates me from you. And why would I do that? Simply because I don't know how to stop. So we're here these 3 days to practice how to get real. How to stop really rather than divert ourselves away from what keeps arising. You see, it's going to continue to arise like a child that wants attention until we can compassionately and lovingly stop and listen. And that's what we've done here. We have taken our mind and put it on paper to slow it down to a density, to a vibration, a material world, so we can look at it and inquire. Because it moves so fast up here that we just ice cream and cake and youth it and exercise it and sex it and all of this, and it hasn't worked. So let's look at the next one, honey. We've taken mind and put it into form here.
Good. My feet shouldn't hurt when I play tennis.
And is that true?
I can't know that.
Yeah. Well, I would say, how do I know it's true? My feet hurt when I play tennis. So, my life would not be as good if I didn't play tennis. Is that true?
I can't know that.
No.
Yeah.
So we look at our motives for playing tennis and why we would do that when our feet hurt. You see, to see, what do I want? You know, what is the tennis game giving me? And look at our motives. So read that one again.
Okay. My feet shouldn't hurt when I play tennis.
Okay, so is it true? No. It's a lie. Can you hear it? My feet, I'm playing tennis and my feet hurt. My feet should not hurt. Is it true? No. Hear this like children. Children get this stuff instantly. I'm playing tennis, my feet hurt. That's the reality of it. I'm not some spiritual being that says, my feet don't hurt. No, my feet hurt. That's the truth of it. And I go, it's not fair, or my feet shouldn't hurt. Is it true? No. How do I know? My feet hurt. Reality. Another word for reality is God. So what do you get for holding the belief that your feet should not hurt when you play tennis? Feel it.
Well, it takes my attention away from the actual game playing.
Yes.
Puts it somewhere else, and I wind up not playing as well as I could.
Good. So
Having
you're
a
not one with the ball,
yeah.
one with the racket, one with your partner.
Right.
That's what it does. It moves you away from your game. Okay. And who would you be if you didn't hold the belief that your feet should not hurt?
I'd be free to either stop playing tennis or attend to my feet.
Yeah. Or play one with everything.
Right.
The feet, the hurting, everything. Everything.
Yeah. So I could be present to what's happening, and maybe when I'm present, what's going on in my feet isn't pain, but maybe something else.
Yeah, and my thought is, you know, when you're comfortable, you don't even, you know, when you're really in that comfortable spot, that on a spot, it doesn't matter. Your feet hurting are equal to not hurting.
Yeah, I've definitely had that experience where you've played what we call play through pain, but it's more like your tension just goes somewhere else.
Yeah. So it's a sweet experience, and it's a wonderful way to live. We look at Mother Teresa, and she may be doing the real thing. There's no pain that can keep her from her bliss. You know, there's no thorns barefoot she wouldn't walk over and experience, because she's going for her bliss. Her bliss is to serve. But she has presence and knows her nature, we could say, and I can't know her. But she's present, and the rest is secondary. She gives her tennis. Yeah.
Okay. So reversed, my mind shouldn't hurt when I play tennis.
Yeah, from lack of truth.
Right.
Yeah. You get honest when I'm playing tennis.
Okay. Death shouldn't be a scary, mysterious thing.
Okay, and it's not. You go to bed every night. Every night. You close your eyes, you go to sleep. That's it. That's it. That's it. I don't see a lot of worry. In fact, a lot of people look forward to it. A lot of people really prefer that part. And that's as bad as it gets. Except for your belief that says there's something else. And I tell you, no wonder you're afraid of death. You open your eyes and you come into a world that you have no way of recognizing. It's upside down. There's nothing that you relate to. It's totally inconsistent. It's like a scrambled nightmare. There's death in the dream. Confusion in the dream. And you're one that thinks there ought to be some order in it, and there's not. So when you go to sleep, it's a very sweet thing. You get real. You're out of the dream of what you call life. It's a very sweet thing. And then there's another way. You can come to know the truth inside of you and experience the same in what you call asleep or awake. Not a lot of words for it. There is life on the other side of a physical death. Can you really know that? There's heaven or hell on the other side of a physical death. Can you really know that? It's just some theory you've been scaring yourself with. You try one, and you try the other. When you're bad, you threaten you with one. When you're good, you threaten you with the other, give you the other. So, what do you get for holding the belief that there is heaven or hell on the other side of physical death?
Pure fright.
Pure fright.
Mine right here.
Yeah. Pure fright. Is there one person here that can really know that there's heaven or hell on the other side of a physical death?
It's just a rumor.
It's a rumor. It's an old myth. And you use it for what? To good you, to bad you, to good you, to bad you, to guilt and shame you, or to free you up. Who would you be without the myth? Who would you be if you didn't ever hold the belief again that there was heaven or hell on the other side of physical death?
Relieved.
Relieved.
You'd be free to live.
Free to live. Yes. Yes. Oh, that. Oh, that. Heaven.
And that's where I want to be all the time.
Yes.
I live in paradise sometimes.
Yes.
And I lose it.
Yes. Sometimes.
Sometimes. But I'm aware when I lose it most of the time now.
Yes.
And it just gets sweeter and sweeter.
Yes. 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 Staying home.
Staying home.
Yes.
Doing nothing sometimes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I love doing nothing. But just being.
Being truth. How's that?
I had a very sweet experience recently. Where I live, we have fish ponds, and we have these big 4 fish. 2 of them came to a little pond right close to our place. I named them, I fed them. I became very attached. And they knew me, and they would come up. And one disappeared. I think a little varmint got it, and that disturbed me. The one has been just hovering in this little place, kind of under a weed. Tamiko. I go out every morning and just to see her, and I realize my attachment. And 2 days ago, she's totally disappeared. And I really thought a lot about death. That was an incredible lesson to me. And I was very much aware that Tamiko was okay. But I was the one that was struggling with what happened to her. And I'm not completely clear yet. But it pulled me really deep into my own fear.
Now, Miko is okay. Can you really know that? It implies that there's something less than okay, or it could imply. You see, so that's maybe the piece that you would like to look at. God is good, the end. Except for my thinking, everything is okay, and it always has been.
Except my question is, what happened to her? Where is she?
None of my business.
None of my business.
When you think it's your business, you're going to hurt. And if you knew, it would only be so you could feel better anyway. And this fish is supposed to come and go so you'll feel better.
Thank
you see that you're welcome, sweetheart. This staying out of our business, what does it serve? Our suffering. Mentally, staying in my business, I'm very kind, I'm very sweet, and guess what? It comes back to cost me my peace. Presence is home.
Katie?
Yes.
Mike? Okay.
I have a question about being home. What I'm finding out is that I'm trashing people less, I'm in other people's business less, and my mind just doesn't know what to do. I mean, I would be obsessing on something that is ridiculous because it wants to do something, and I'm serious. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Well, give me an example. Let's look at this. Your mind is supposed to do something. What do you get for holding that belief?
Well, can the mind just be quiet?
The mind is supposed to be quiet. What do you get for holding that belief? It's much, much more spiritual. It's much higher if your mind is quiet. What do you get for holding that belief? A great big loud mind that says, should be quiet, should be quiet, should be quiet.
Well, so what do I do? If I'm not quiet, if my mind's not quiet and it's not chattering, what do I do?
Observe. Observe. You will, sweetheart, haven't you noticed that your motion, that you cannot not be motion? Your motion. You'll just move and you'll be the observer of it. Out of narration. You won't be narrating it. Like, I'm going here, I'm going there, they shouldn't eat this, they shouldn't eat that, they should, this hamburger, this, on and on. Just observe its movement. And if the internal voice is movement, that's movement also. Just enjoy the ride. I mean, the internal belief system is nothing more than movement, just like holding the microphone and passing it on. Movement. And sweetheart, if your mind revs like that, just ride the breath. If it's not out of your business, and it's just here, but what belief could you have that would be your business? So just practice staying in your business. mentally. You know, the other piece of that, Marceline, is I am not my business. You know, at first, these three kinds of business, you mentally learn to stay in your business. They should eat healthy, I should eat healthy. They should care about me, turned around, I should care about me. I should care enough about me to stay out of their business and be present. They should care about me. Is it true? I don't think so. Maybe they should just have their own life without my dictatorship in my mind. But when we stay present long enough, we come to see that we don't have any business. Truly.
In talking about food, when I was talking before, and I realized, you helped me actually, that I'm living my truth when it comes to food. I think this is good for me, I do it, it feels good. So then I was thinking, while this was going on, what other truths? I mean, somehow, by realizing that was neat, okay, I've arrived at one of my truths, and it might be food. So, in other decisions in my life, my truth could be total confusion.
Yes.
And rather than battling that, just saying, okay, I'm in total confusion, I will feel as good as I do about the way I eat then, about total confusion, or even fear, if that's my truth.
So ask the question again. The last part.
Living in total...
For one of us, the metaphor would not be food. We would be over here in sexuality, using that as the most powerful thing, or our children and how they should be.
Yeah, I could be in total confusion over sexuality very easily.
Yes.
And if that's my truth, rather than battle it in my head, just say, right now I'm in total confusion.
Yeah, I'm hearing that would, that is a very high truth. Just to know you're in confusion. And sit down, write it, ask the 4 questions, and turn it around and get free. And we'll practice right here. Edgar, let's look at the next.
Okay. My hair should be thicker on my head and thinner everywhere else.
Okay. Familiar? Yeah. So is it true?
No.
So we're going to go through the 4 questions here for those of you that are new. Is it true your hair should be thinner here and thicker there?
No.
And what do you get for holding the belief?
Miserable.
I want this. I want this. I want these wrinkles from here or there, and those bags and those crow feet and everything on that list. I want that. Because it is. That's the only way I can even know my wants. My husband says, "Do you want me?" And I say, "Yes." You see, how do I know I want him? Here he is. Okay, let's look at the next.
She's another reverse.
Good. Let's guide her to it. Guide her to it, Christy.
She didn't say what made it bag.
So I want me.
I want myself to have bags under my eyes, sagging jowls, a midlife spread, crow feet, wrinkles, and sagging eyelids.
Yes.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Welcome to the human race. It's so much fun to join, to union one. Mm-hmm. But, would you let baggy eyelids keep you separate from yourself? Yes. Until we don't.
Okay. I need my body to be eternally youthful and energetic and until I die in a quick, painless accident at the age of 300.
Yeah. So put the word mind there.
I need my mind to be...
I need my beliefs.
Oh, I need my beliefs to be eternally youthful and energetic until I die in a quick, painless accident at the age of 300.
Yes. Yeah, now that's possible. Anything less than that is not. Okay. One's true, one's an illusion. Let's look at the next one.
I need to be thin to be happy, and I need to be able to eat a lot to be happy.
Okay. And can you really know that that's true? You need to eat a lot to be happy. Can you really know that that's true?
No.
No. A lot of you, this is a really sweet place to go inside. You need to eat to be happy. Can you really know that? And what do you get for holding that belief? A lot of dishonest eating. You're eating to feed the belief. You're not eating to feed your body or your happiness. In fact, when you eat as a result of that belief, you're just eating the lie over and over and over. And the way you can know it is because if it were your truth, you would be entirely comfortable with it. But because it's not your truth, you eat to be happy, and it never works. The mind goes, you're terrible, you're awful, you're going to get fat, you're going to... wherever it goes, at 4,000 a minute.
I'm thin, and I can eat a lot, and it doesn't guarantee happiness.
And that's his story.
Yeah. Okay. I refuse to grow old.
I'm willing to?
I'm willing to, and I look forward to growing old.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Because growing old, if you don't get your belief system down now, as you grow what we call older, it gets right in your face through the mirror and looking at your hands and the wrinkles or your arms. And we heard some of it from Cookie. And it's the sweetest thing, because if you don't get it from here, we could say in your youth, then you're going to get this projection that just keeps shoving it right in front of your face until you can find some peace with reality. Isn't that fine?
Katie, just popped in with these people that do the with the body forever sort of stuff.
They die. They lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's total denial.
It's wanting. It's wanting, not reality.
And it's just not even my business.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yes. Ultimately. And this living forever, that is my experience, but they're trying to do it in a body rather than internally. Yeah, it's confused. It's taken to the body again. Yeah, but we in the changing, or the apparent changing, the clouds don't stay in the same position. They come to pass, not to stay. And the buildings won't be here in the blink of an eye. There'll be dust, and there'll be you, and then there'll be the clouds and the rain, and then there'll be a building again, and then the grass, and you again. There's a wonderful, you are all things. So in that sense, you don't ever die, but the belief that we should keep this form says that being a building is less. You see, and it's just another belief. I am that, I am this, I'm all things. It's exciting. And when I was experiencing early on in this, 11 years ago from this radical switch that I experienced, I would find myself as like a building, there forever. I used to have the building that it was, the belief that it was forever. That if once you're a building or a blade of grass or a seagull or you find yourself locked in as a flower because you don't have the belief that you're not. But like a building, it's forever, like a rock or a grain of sand. So the belief that if you find yourself as that in phenomena, the terror is you're that forever, but it doesn't.
Katie, just popped in with these people that do the with the body forever sort of stuff.
They die. They lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just total denial.
It's wanting, not reality.
And it's just not even my business.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yes. Ultimately. And this living forever, that is my experience, but they're trying to do it in a body rather than internally. Yeah, it's confused. It's taken to the body again. Yeah, but we in the changing, or the apparent changing, the clouds don't stay in the same position. They come to pass, not to stay. And the buildings won't be here. In the blink of an eye, there'll be dust, and there'll be you, and then there'll be the clouds and the rain, and then there'll be a building again, and then the grass, and you again. There's a wonderful, you are all things. So in that sense, you don't ever die, but the belief that we should keep this form says that being a building is less. You see, and it's just another belief. I am that, I am this, I'm all things. It's exciting. And when I was experiencing early on, in this, 11 years ago from this radical switch that I experienced, I would find myself as like a building, there forever. I used to have the building that it was, the belief that it was forever. That if once you're a building or a blade of grass or a seagull or you find yourself locked in as a flower because you don't have the belief that you're not. But like a building, it's forever, like a rock or a grain of sand. So the belief that if you find yourself as that in phenomena, the terror is you're that forever, but it doesn't. It cycles. So when you start experiencing phenomena, some of you that do this process, you can inquire to not resist being a grain of sand with the inquiry. And that's what I had. I had that internal thing. So when I found myself as a rock forever, there was this built-in thing that, can I know that? And what do I get for holding the belief? Hell. Can you imagine what hell to be locked into a rock forever and ever and ever? No friends, lonely. I projected my whole body, my whole reality as a rock, and yet I couldn't get out of the rock. So this inquiry, who would I be without the belief? Timeless, ageless, mindless, one with, as sweet as a rock, or as this, the same, no difference. So this inquiry can move you through all of these revelations that some of you begin to answer, to experience. But without it, you can scare yourselves to the point where you want nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. I just named it. Oh, when I hit, who would I be without the belief? Or is it true? Any one of those four. You see, I found myself back as this, but it was equal, not a preference. It was when that was absolutely okay that I experienced myself as this again. So now I'm equally both. So as I had no experience in a belief system as a rock, I have no experience as a belief system here. I'm saying equal, which is where all of you are when you hit that space of truth. You just think that the next belief shouldn't come in. So look forward to that one too. Yes, honey.
But is some of the panic about calling it a rock?
Oh, Tristy, totally.
Because I've been having that, the woman down there was saying about how as she does the work and stops judging and criticizing me so much, what do you do? And that's what's been happening to me. I've been really depressed. Well, what do? I'm not doing my old habit, my old patterns, so I'm depressed. And then I say, well, maybe it's just because I'm calling it depressed. So I just sit with it, but there's kind of this nothingness that, I haven't gotten used to.
It's like an initiation. It's just new. But you're suffering from the belief that there should be some activity.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I
and is it true?
I shouldn't be feeling what I'm feeling. Is it true? And it's like, no, it's not true, but I still feel it, and I still.
Okay, so you're going to a feeling, and I don't know how that can help, because the feeling is the result of a prior belief. So go to mind. Go to mind, and I'm hearing some of it. Like one of my name was there should be more activity. Is it true? Can I really know that? What do I get for holding the belief? Depressed. So name the belief systems. The feelings are simply a voice that says, take a look at your mind. When you experience a feeling and you're not comfortable with it, go up and look at the belief system that created the feeling as a fact. Cookie?
I just like to do one.
Let's take a look.
I want my body to stay usable because I think I am this body.
Yes.
And when it goes, I go.
Okay. When you go, it goes. And if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Okay? These are good ones. So, read the part about using it.
Well, I just said I want my body to stay usable.
Why?
Because I think that I'm this body.
Okay. But there's more to it.
Okay.
You want, and I'm asking you to take a look at it. You want your body should be usable. Is it true?
Huh. I don't know.
Body should be usable. What do you get for holding the belief?
Oh, like in a straitjacket.
I am usable with my body doing nothing. Just lying there. If anyone comes in or not, my truth is here, and if you want to know it, it's there. I give it to you. How do I know no one needs my wisdom? They're not coming in to ask. I'm just this body lying here. How do I know it's over? No one's asking. So I just lie in peace. And when I'm not in peace, I've experienced something that I haven't healed yet. So I'm either at peace or joy, or both simultaneously. My body doesn't have to be useful for me to have that, ever. Who and what would you be, or what would you be, Cookie, if you didn't have the belief, if you never had the belief again that your body should be useful? Yeah. Not a straitjacket. Yeah. We don't have to do anything, sweetheart. Not ever. It's already done. We don't need you, you do. You only tell us what you need to hear. Yes, honey.
That is an awful for me. Because I always think I have to be productive. Well, if there's nothing and time runs like through my fingers and then I'm gone, this scares me. Because I have to be productive. I have to do something with my time.
And is that true?
No.
No. And what do you get for holding the belief?
Pain.
Yes.
It is very painful.
Yes, it is very painful.
Because like a day goes by, and the evening goes, what did I do today? I wasted a day. I mean, I know rational that I cannot waste a day or time. I know that rationally I do, but I forget. And then it's like, or for example, like, suddenly a week is over, and where has this week been gone?
Yeah.
And this is going to be with my whole life. I blink an eye and my life is over. And what did...
You're supposed to accomplish something here. Is that true?
No.
Supposed to leave a legacy. Is that true? Look at the legacy we have to leave. Don't bother.
Yeah.
I think I'll leave the legacy where children shouldn't go hungry. You know, I'll just leave the legacy of pain and suffering and more of it. So we need to accomplish something in our life. What do you get for holding that belief? Huge ego. I will leave something for you.
At least I did something, and it wasn't for nothing.
No, it was
Even
for
if
you.
It's only for my ego.
Yes.
You know, at least something.
Yeah, you perpetuated the myth.
My daughter always said to me, "Be creative, paint something, do something," and I always look at you.
She could turn it around or not.
She doesn't.
Yeah, she's one that needs to follow that belief system. You see, you can ask, is it true?
She even said to me once, "You instead sitting with Katie, you can do something productive."
And what I hear is that she, instead of sitting with me, could go be productive and live out her belief system until she can come to know something else, or just have a wonderful life living out her belief system.
But I forget, and then I let it get to me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we only say what we need to hear.
The last 2 weeks I was really hard on myself, and I want to do something important, not just cooking and massaging, and something more important.
Yeah.
And I kept like...
There's something more important than cooking and massaging. Is it true, honey?
No.
Everything is equal. Cooking and massaging are equal. I use Mother Teresa's name. Is equal to what she's doing.
But it's painful when that comes. It's like it feels like I'm torturing my own self.
You are, with the belief that you should be doing something other than cooking and massaging.
More important.
More important.
I should be somebody.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Nobody gonna love me when I'm just this flat person who doesn't have anything really to show.
Oh, my. Oh, my. You should have something to show, sweetheart. Is it true?
No.
What do you get for holding that belief?
Pain.
And who would you be without it?
I would be as happy as I can be.
Yes. You know, Roxanne's here. I really admire my daughter. She stays in the work, it appears. And her greatness is there with her husband and her child. And what I like about it is she has that awareness. She holds that awareness. It appears from here. And doesn't ever have to do anything other than that. Wish I had the words for it. Roxanne, what I see is you're fully aware that that's your greatness. Sometimes. Okay. But I call her and I say, "Hi, sweetheart, how are you?" She says, "Fine." I said, "You're always fine. She said, "Yes, I am. I'm always wonderful." I said, "How's the baby?" "Wonderful," she says. I said, "Well, he's always wonderful." You see? But that's what I hear, and I hear from her sometimes, and how human of her.
I mean, she brings it up, and she's very good for me. She says, what did you do with your life? You know, you followed gurus around, and it's still, she even said to me, like, "You're not old enough to go to college." I said, "Well,
Sweetheart, she followed a guru around all her life, too. You.
Mm-hmm.
All her life. And from here, it looks like a really sweet choice. It's just that you're the last to know it.
Yeah. Like when the belief comes, I wasted half of my life. What did I...
Well, you know, it gets back to cookies. You're supposed to accomplish something. Is it true? Accomplish what?
Yeah, what?
And what do you get for holding the belief that you're supposed to accomplish something? You can't accomplish anything. There's nothing to accomplish. So that's why it hurts so bad when you think you should accomplish something. What do you get for holding the belief that you have a purpose here or that you're supposed to accomplish something? What you get for holding that belief is you accomplish nothing except looking about how you haven't accomplished anything. And when you do accomplish something, it's not enough. Until that belief is dropped, you can't even see your accomplishments. And in my experience, that is the only accomplishment, to undo the belief that I'm in and be present as one with God. That's it. What purpose does it hold? To hold the belief that I should have a purpose. I miss my purpose. One with God, one with God, one with God. That's it. Isn't that the only place, awareness, that you're free? I mean, for so many of us, it's our purpose in life to stop other people's suffering, to heal their suffering, which cannot be done. It can't be done. It's not a possibility. You know, I love the phrase, haven't you noticed? It hasn't worked. But we can give them a way of going inside so that they can find their own freedom. If, in fact, we have a way that we've experienced. Mm-hmm. And if, in fact, the other asks, because that's the open gate, that's the open door. If a person doesn't ask, you know, how do I know they don't need my help? They haven't asked. Okay, who would like to do this wonderful work? Yes, let's do. Well, why don't you come up here where we can experience it at a higher... Oh, you know, under the circumstances, I see you. Yeah, I think you're right. I used to... bring anything with me? You're writing? Mm-hmm.
I can come with you. Okay.
Oh, that's very sweet. Wonderful. Good.
What number?
Okay.
Or from the beginning? From the end?
Number one. What I say is take a deep breath and read.
Okay. I am angry at my body because it had to have its left foot amputated.
Okay. Now, foot should not be amputated.
Right.
Is it true? I'm asking you to go inside and look at reality. How do I know my foot should be amputated?
Because it is.
But
most feet aren't.
Okay, so what do you get for holding the belief that your foot should look like our foot?
Right.
Feel that.
I can get to feel less.
Yeah.
And I can get to feel separate.
Yes. That's a handicap.
Right.
An amputated foot is not a handicap. My thinking that my foot should look like your foot, now I'm handicapped.
Or even like it used to.
Or even like it used to. Even that. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Or even. That's a big one. I'm supposed to have 2 feet?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Well,
That's
I used to be supposed to have 2 feet.
Yes. Accurate. Yeah. And living in the past, is how you bring in now. I mean, that is where you get your now. Like living in the past creates your future. I mean, the belief in a past, holding on to those beliefs, is what you're going to get in the future. You just keep attaching them. That's how you make a future. Okay, so for us to undo this now is your freedom. Okay, so let's hear that one again.
Still on number 1.
Yes, read the same one again.
Okay, I am angry at my body because it had to have its left foot amputated.
Okay, and did it have to have its left foot amputated? Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, who says so?
I gave my permission.
Yes, and what did the doctor say that brought you to that determination? If you didn't have it amputated, what would happen?
I could watch that part of it rot away, and that could be okay too.
Yes. And if it rotted away, what could happen, according to the doctors?
Actually, I didn't have that information at the time.
Yeah.
It was only what I assumed.
Okay, so you could watch it rot away, or you could amputate it. Okay, so is it true you had to have it amputated? Are you all following that?
No, I didn't have to.
Yes. So it's
well, I mean, I was given a choice.
Yes. So it's not true. I had to have my foot amputated. Is it true? No.
Right.
It's not.
It's not true.
Good. So no, we're here to know ourselves. So the mind is that tricky. Isn't it sad? I had to have my foot amputated. And then you can just laugh, smile.
Right.
It's not that. It's not even true. Yeah, because that lack of integrity within us that we weren't so attuned to before can give us our total freedom. Because again, that's where the suffering is, not in the amputation.
Right.
That's what an amputated foot is about, to bring you to awareness. That's what everything's about. So, sweetheart,
I'm sure of that.
Okay, so let's read it that way again.
This is the exact same way? I am angry at my body because it had to have its foot amputated.
Okay. So let's look at the next one. That pretty well covers.
Okay. I am saddened by not having my former mobility.
Okay. You're supposed to be mobile like you used to be.
To take care of myself.
To take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. Is that true?
Only to the degree that I want to.
Yes.
And I choose to.
And is it true that you have to take care of yourself? All of you, this is for you to go in and ask. You have to take care of yourself. Is it true? I don't. I can lie in a bed and I can wet myself, experience excretion, and only a belief would say, I need to clean that up. You see, only for me would I do that. It's not something I have to do. And if I don't have legs to walk on, how do I know I'm not to do it? I'm not able to, or hands to crawl, whatever that would be. You take it all the way to the limit. And if there's no way to crawl to it, how do you know you don't need to do it? You're not able to. And in that lies peace. If you know this work. Now you're lying there, no arms, no legs, no way to do it. How do you know you don't need to clean yourself up? You can't. And that truth will set you free. And then the belief, someone should come in and help me.
Right.
That's going to hurt a lot. That's going to hurt worse than losing arms and legs. That's going to hurt. Lying there like that doesn't hurt. The belief that someone should come help you, that's where the hell begins. Because it's a dishonest thought. How do I know that no one should come help me? There's no one here. What do I get for holding the belief that someone should come help me? Feel that. It's called hell. Someone should help you. Abandonment? Yeah. And you're going to suffer abandonment when you have the belief that it's our job to be there for you. or your job. When we get down to it finally, if there's no way to crawl. So who would you be lying there with no way to move in the metaphor that I've put out here? If you did not hold the belief that you should be cleaned up or that help should arrive, who or what would you be in the presence of that?
You'd be there without the suffering.
Yes. And then the belief comes in, it's not fair, suffering. Who would you be without it? Free. The belief arises that someone should come help you, and that's automatic suffering. To ask and inquire, is that true, and to get real about it is your freedom. The truth will set you free under any condition. When you're in truth, there is no suffering that can ever happen. You are your freedom, and it doesn't take a body to do it. Karen?
Yes. My mind was made to...
You know what just occurred to me when you were speaking is I've never been to India, but people who have gone there experience the people there as being in great pain. But the people there who are in utter poverty seem to be in a different place with it. And I'm getting it now that that's probably because of their beliefs about their circumstance.
Yes. And there is a lot of pain in India. People who go in and project it on the other. That's where the pain is.
Yes. Yes. That's what my sense was, and I got that just as you were speaking.
Yes. 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 So you think we're suffering? How does it feel? You only give us what you would want to have when you're projecting what that would be. And good for you. It's called your truth. So I get to be happy and get what you give. Okay, sweetheart.
Number 2?
Yes. Are you able to connect with where your discomfort comes from?
Mm-hmm.
You're it.
Although being so immobile that I couldn't clean myself up, and that would be okay, or could be okay, that's still a hard one to grasp.
Yes.
Or to allow.
Yes. So go into it. Go into it. All of you go into it. Some of you would rather die than let someone come in and care for you under those conditions. So it's the same belief system. You're not inquiring. I'm a burden. Can you really know that? What do you get for holding that belief? You are your own burden. Who would you be without it? You would be the giver of receivership. The giver of receivership. Yes, honey.
So, if I was laying there and it really started to smell. So if I was laying there and it was really starting to smell, my thought is, okay, my body is smelling it. So the body, but I had this a moment ago. Then my thought, my mind comes in and says, this is supposed to smell. So if I let go of that, maybe I could just get used to it. Not just get used to it, but I would be...
My body is smelling. This is not a good thing. My body is smelling is a comfortable thought. It's just the smell is God. I'm God. There's no problem here. My body should not smell. This is not okay. That's where you move.
Yeah.
How do I know my body should smell and it's okay? It's smelling and, it must be okay. Here I am. I am this. I appear as this now. So someone walks in and says, oh my God, this is terrible. What I can say is, I understand how you could see it that way.
See.
I used to experience it that way also.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm in bliss over here, stinking and smelling, and they may want to take a look at their problem. Good.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the baby, it appears that the baby is not too upset by his smell, but then Mom and Pa come in there and say, whoa!
Yeah, same thing, isn't it? Same thing.
But the baby doesn't seem in bliss when he's got all kinds of skin rashes.
And that's just your story.
They seem to cry
and it's just your story that crying is not okay.
That's true.
Yes. Crying is fine from here. I screamed for over an hour, non-stop, just yelled, and I was in perfect bliss. Kept waiting for it to say something. If I had had an emery board, I would have just been filing my fingernails here, and it just screamed. It's its own self. Someone else, well, in fact, the people that were there observing it asked me not to come back. And I can understand that. They have the belief that people shouldn't scream. Yeah, it's not my belief. And sweetheart, how do I know I'm to cry? I'm crying. How do I know I'm to yell? I'm yelling. How do I know I'm to smile? I'm smiling. Ease. Fluid. And this isn't something that we can con ourselves into or make ourselves do, this acceptance thing. Only a purity can do that. And you are the purity inside of you, the truth, waiting to be realized. It's your freedom. And so simple. Yes,
Is that from a place of surrender?
A place from what's real. Yes, surrendering to the real. And even that just sounds so, that's what we would call it. But it doesn't matter whether we surrender to the real or not. It's real. That's it. Whether we surrender or not makes no difference. How do I know I'm not to have a foot? I don't. And any thought around that is how I amputate me mentally. My foot's enough. Can I get it from here? Yeah. Enough amputation going on without me cutting myself off from presence. Yeah.
My body wants me to somehow get along without a left foot. My body wants to get moved along on crutches most of the time.
Okay. So let's do the first one. Put the word mind there.
My mind wants me to somehow get along without a left foot.
Yes. Isn't that truer? I don't think your body cares.
True.
I mean, when you're lying down and you're asleep, I don't think your body says, I think I'll get up and walk around.
I'm not sure who to attribute pain to, my body or my mind. This is the sensation of pain.
Yes.
When that exists.
Yes. My interpretation of what that pain is and how it should not be there is how I perpetuate it. So just to do the work, and it's very difficult to do the work, to get honest when we're in pain. We just want it to stop.
Right.
And to get it to stop is as honest as we can get, and I would say that's an act of love.
Okay.
Yeah. We do the work out of pain so we can get at a deeper level. So we can really concentrate on what is the truth, really let it appear and be with it and experience it. And then next time a pain takes over, we notice that it's not that big a consequence. It just starts getting less and less. Sanity doesn't suffer. Ultimate sanity, there's just ultimately no suffering, not even on a physical level.
So to pretend that there's not pain when there is...
It's not honest.
Right.
Hasn't worked for me.
It's never worked for me,
no.
But that's what you see in the movies.
Yeah, so much for illusion. Yeah, no, on my integrity, when it hurts, it hurts. That's it.
And you do what you do.
I do what I do. And I stay in the work. Yeah.
So to reverse the second one, I guess, would be the same. My mind wants to move my body along on crutches most of the time.
Yes. Yeah. Because if you take the mind and it's neutral, it's going to come or go, and you're just going to be the observer of it, actually. You're just doing your nature. Just like the wind, the breeze, the rain. If you drop the story, you move or not. It's the same no matter what. With your narration, it's not so comfortable. Without your narration, you get to enjoy the ride. Feet or no feet.
And what about plotting and scheming? They're part
Have
of human
fun.
nature also.
It's just a story about how you're going to be better off or less off. It's just a story again about how you have a choice over movement. But if you're lying there in the condition that I described when we were talking about, eventually you rise or you intentionally roll over and fall out of bed. You just do what you do. If you have a foot and you have an amputated foot, you have another foot, you have your crutches, you cannot make yourself lie there and give up. Eventually you're going to get up. And you think that you are doing it somehow. No, you're just getting up. You are going to do what you do with or without your story. Can you hear this? You think you're the creator of what you have or where you go or what you do. It's just your story that says you're God and you're doing it. I think I'll come into this room. I think I'll sit in this chair. You're just narrating what already is. You're the body of God. You're just cells in molecular movement within a body. Drop your story and be. Okay, sweetheart, let's look at the next one.
My body should behave and grow another left foot.
Is that true?
No.
No. What do you get for holding that belief?
I just would stay attached to the foot that isn't there.
Yes.
Or that I want to be.
Yes. And what a perfect thing to focus on so you don't have to know yourself, so you don't have to know that you're amputating you from your nature, God.
Keeps you less than.
Yes. Yes.
So, my mind should behave and forget about the foot.
And stop focusing on the foot and get real instead. And before it was the foot, it was something else.
Right.
Same thing.
I have a few of those too.
Yeah.
My body should be in better physical shape.
Is that true? All of you, is that true? Your body should be in better physical shape. Is that true? Can you really know that?
No.
Can you really know that?
It's in.
What do you get for holding the belief that your body should be in better shape?
Not okay the way it is.
Not okay the way it is.
Being tortured.
The others?
Being tortured.
Yes, being in torture. Yeah, tortured.
The future.
Yes, the future. You get to hold on to the future body and not appreciate this one.
Lifetime membership to Gold's Gym.
Yeah. Lifetime membership to Gold's Gym. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
My skin should tolerate the sun better and not get burned.
Is that true?
No.
No.
Just desire.
Yeah. So who or what would you be if you didn't hold the belief that your body should be stronger?
Be the same as I am, just without that belief.
Yeah.
And without that the thoughts about it.
Yes, without that handicap. Okay, sweetheart, let's look at the next.
My body is crippled in the present and in future life situations.
And can you really know that that's true?
I have a belief of less than. I have a belief that in what might be called the normal life situations of a couple of 100 years ago,
yes,
I wouldn't be able to survive by myself.
yes.
Hmm?
Gypsy would be perfect.
A gypsy?
Yeah, because they maim themselves in order to get their hand up.
Yes. What my thought as you were talking is, it was, I could say, incredibly exciting to see what this is for.
Yes.
Everything that happens, it's just a preview of coming attractions that are marvelous. And if I'm in a belief system, I miss it. The way I don't get to see the reality of the miraculous thing that it takes me to, is I hold on to the belief that I should have a foot, and I stay in the old reality to keep me from knowing this new exciting unfolding. I'm unfolding.
I have to admit that at the time that I was given the choice to amputate the foot right then and there, which meant within a week or so, or not, and wait, because that was a possibility, to just wait a while and see if any of the damaged part would heal beyond what it had,
yes,
or not. I chose to have the amputation done then and there. I was already in the hospital, and I felt excited about it.
Yes.
Because
yes.
it was cutting the losses and just moving on ahead.
Yes. Yes.
That was what it felt like
yes.
at that time.
Now, that's integrity. It's available to us like that. But then the beliefs come in and take that preciousness from us, that awareness from us. The lies take over.
And in the years that have passed since then, some of the people I've spoken to said they would have decided the same way I had, and others said no, they would have waited to see how it went first.
Yes.
And that seemed...
And I would have done what I did.
Yeah, exactly. One didn't seem better than the other from that perspective.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the next one.
So, but before I go to the next one, this is the one where my body is crippled in the present situation. Let's just shorten.
Okay, so let's turn it around.
Yeah.
My mind.
My mind is crippled in the present situation.
That's the only crippling that ever was.
Yeah.
That's all. That's it. If you didn't hold the belief that you should have 2 feet, where's the cripple?
Right. There's this thing about in me that says, because a workshop I once did about a year or two after that, and one of the group leaders asked me about my condition, and I said I'm handicapped. And he said, what? And this went on for a little while until I would finally say the word crippled.
Yes.
Because there's such a feeling associated with the denial of it that one doesn't want to admit they're crippled. Hence, we have the word handicapped in society. And
So one suggestion would be to drop all power from words. Period.
Would that I could.
Every word, drop the power from it. Drop the meaning from it. Every word. They're all equal. They're all God. Your attachment to the belief about what the word means is your suffering. There's just the sound of God.
So whether I'm whole, crippled, or handicapped, it's all equal.
Same.
In that sense.
Yes. Yes, in the only sense. To put meaning to it, it hurts.
Yeah. I need my body to be much more physically active.
I need my mind.
I need my mind to be much more
Physically.
Physically.
Active. In the truth.
In the truth.
Yes. Vigilance. If it hurts, heal it. If it hurts, you've just experienced an untrue belief. Go back and undo the lie. Inquire, turn it around. Yeah, actively. Okay.
We're up to number 6.
Okay.
I refuse to accept feeling limited by my body's loss of a foot.
Okay, and you'll probably do it again if you're human.
Right.
You'll probably have the belief, experience the lie of I should have 2 feet. You'll experience the insanity of that.
Or that I'd be better off with 2 feet.
Or that you'd be better off with 2 feet. You could experience the insanity of that. You're going to feel it. It's going to hurt. It'll put you back into the work. So I am willing to.
I am willing to accept feeling limited by my body's loss of a foot.
Yes, I look forward to.
I look forward to feeling limited by my body's loss of a foot.
Yes.
Or by my loss of a foot, I guess is better.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it'll hurt, put you back into the work. Wonderful. Feedback?
Really?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Julie?
What really came to me is that there's nothing but wholeness.
It's coming.
It came to me that there's nothing but wholeness.
Yes. That's it. There's nothing but wholeness.
Except for beliefs.
Except for beliefs. Except for beliefs that say it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you said handicapped, crippled, it's not in, it occurred to me it's not in God's vocabulary. And it reinforces what we just said. That it just is.
How do you know it's not in God's vocabulary?
If everything is God, Phil, how could it not? It's our prejudice about what that means that says it's less than God.
But isn't it a manipulation of words that we have within the human condition to call something?
Turn it around.
The
Isn't it a manipulation in what I turn that whole thing around?
Mm.
Go ahead and turn it around. Isn't it a manipulation?
Isn't it a manipulation that I do with words?
Yes. You got it. We don't do it. You do.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. If it exists, it must be God's vocabulary. Everything is God. As long as I define God, I can't know God. Any other feedback?
It's either a choice between freedom and comfort. And comfort is somehow what each of us defines it to be. And I'm myself somehow on the edge of grasping the depth of that, because if that really is so, and I'm choosing comfort very often, I'm asking myself why. And I got kind of a hint through this interaction that there's something about choices of freedom and comfort. I'll look more deeply into that, but maybe that's all it is.
Yes, my thought is kindness is no substitute for truth. Comfort is no substitute for freedom. Yes, how sweet that you would look into that. I don't want to be comfortable. I want to be free. And so I am. Comfortable is just a story I tell about how it could be better or safer. It assumes that there's something dangerous out there in the first place. That it would cost me something. And the truth is it's the opposite. Yeah. Brookie?
I really related to your experience of knowing the truth when you were in the hospital, and it was the relief or the excitement about it, and then like taking it away from yourself later on, and I loved looking at your face when you gave it back to yourself. It was that's what I meant about how sweet, because it was
sweet.
When you moved up to the front of the room, I was thinking, wow, you know. And then when you were talking, I was thinking, wow, this man actually has more, you know, than less. And then I kept that going, and I came to a place where you really don't. That there's really no difference. And that was like the real beauty for me.
Yeah.
Was like to see you as whole as the way you are, if you were fat or without a leg, or if you were thin, whatever.
Yeah. So we're really coming to see I am not this body. I am not this body. I am my belief system, and without a belief, I don't even exist. You exist. Can you know that?
Yes, because here I am.
And what do you get for holding that belief? Existence. Existence.
Yes.
Existence. And who would you be without the belief?
I would exist. I mean,
just play with it.
Who would I be without the belief?
If you just didn't hold the belief, if a belief just didn't arise, who or what would you be?
Well, I'm a little confused because I think you're talking about my body, right? When I said, here I am, I was not necessarily referring to my physical presence. I was referring to here I am.
Okay, and that assumes that you are.
Yes.
And it's a great theory, and without the theory, do you exist?
I guess without that theory, I guess I don't.
Yeah, you would be beyond mind. It's like the song we sang this morning, I am here for my God to reveal what was said in the beginning.
But we have
no
a mind.
Thing. It's nothing. It's nothing.
But Katie, let me just keep pursuing that for a minute. But we're given a mind, yes?
No, you gave you a mind. You gave you that. And you can ungive you that. I'm just giving you some flexibility here, that's all. Or not.
Elaborate on that. I think you've left me here a little bit.
So one of the suggestions I make is don't push yourself beyond evolution in a belief system. Let's just keep it real simple. You are a body. Can you really know that? All of you go inside and ask, can you really know that? Yeah, you can feel it. Yeah, but you're interpreting if you touch yourself, you're interpreting that. You see?
Based on your beliefs.
Yes. So you're really a body. Can you really know that? And what do you get for holding the belief? Existence. A body. It really is. You know, this is, what I say about this is adults can't play. Only children can play this. Adults know too much to get this basic. Or what would you be if you didn't hold the belief? If you just never held it again that you were a body? Bodiless. Bodiless.
What about...
It would be simply other people's concept. And the way that I know this is we could say this describes how I live. I don't hold the belief. I don't have to bother. You hold it for me. Any belief you would let go of, you're safe. The whole world's going to hold it for you. It's not as though you're going to lose anything. You know, I am you. You're doing it from out there. I don't have to bother. I'm free.
And I just want to keep asking you, just for clarity in my mind. You took me to the belief in my existence.
Yes.
Do you believe you exist? Do you believe you exist?
No, sweetheart. No. You do that for me. I don't need to. I want to give you everything, Karen. You're asking. I'm not going to give you anything less than I experience.
You exist in my belief that you exist. You exist in my mind. And
according to what I'm hearing from you. You know, these questions have been asked through the centuries. And that's what's so sweet about the work, is I can simply say, you're a body. Can you really know that that's true? What do you get for holding the belief? None of these answers that I would have for that are going to be valuable to you. Go inside and ask you. You're the one. What do you get for holding the belief that you're a body? Who would you be without it? To be still and go inside and ask you. Yes. And it's not going to end with one, profound experience, because here comes the parking ticket. You see, here comes that. You see, here comes the doctor off with the foot. You see? Just undo the one in the moment. That's where existence is. Prior to that, no existence. After that, no existence. Undo this. The one you're in, no existence.
You'll come back to me, I know.
Yes.
Great.
You spoke earlier about being in a rock, having your consciousness being in a rock and other objects. I'm just wondering if that is something that you are able to do at will. Can you put your consciousness in different objects, different people, or did that happen?
No, there's no separation. I was a baby. I still thought there was a rock and a body and I knew not from experience, and there's the last residue left. It still says separation. This thing can't be done intellectually. Mm-hmm. You stay in the work and know. Yes. There's one behind you, and then pass back to the back.
Well, I just hit profound fear because I felt I came very close to getting what you're saying, but I could feel myself flip back out.
Yes, Angel.
Now I'm lost.
Yes.
But I want to go. I want to pursue.
Yes, honey. Okay, you were lost.
Yes.
What do you get for holding the belief? Good. Found.
Yes.
Would you be without the belief? Found.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. You can't ever be lost. Not ever. Not ever. It's just another theory.
Yeah, holding on to the continuity is...
There should be continuity. What do you get for holding that belief? There's nothing sweeter than to be all things.
I felt that sweetness for a moment.
Yes. Yes.
It's real freedom.
Yes.
That just in this moment is all there is.
Yes. Sweet initiation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, my heart. Let's pass it back to them.
Jivan, I wanted to go back to the feedback with you, and it also tied into what you said, Katie, who would we be without the body? And when you were talking, what came to me was just courage. And I thought what courage it took for you to see that having your foot amputated was equal to letting it just do whatever it did. And the courage for you to be here right now and as open as you are. And I thought, I'll go hide if I get a zit on my nose, you know. And the courage to be so fully here. So what came to me was just who we are is courage. Who you are is courage.
Thank you. In this moment, I can feel being here, but in the moment, I have to say that I chose to have the foot amputated. I did that because I thought that was better than the alternative.
Yes. Oh, I thought I heard you say you saw equal.
No, that was something Katie...
But still, it was still courage, though. You know, either way...
in the sense that it invited change.
Yes. The man's clear.
Yeah. Thank you.
I've just been sitting here struck with what we, God, will do to know ourselves. We'll have our fucking foot amputated. We'll be depressed. We'll make millions. We'll, and just everything. Just we'll do anything. We'll do it all to know ourselves. And I was just sort of feeling the honor of that.
Okay, any other feedback? I don't see a problem. Phil?
I've got a problem I'm stuck with. I wrote down all in this moment is all there is. I understand that. But then we start thinking about things. How do you distinguish denial? I mean, here's a man without a foot. Now, how do you distinguish the concept of denial of what is versus negative beliefs about what it should be? That's
well,
where
you
I'm
don't
stuck.
seem to have a problem with reality. There's a man that has one foot. That's it. Your belief that would not be okay is your suffering. Your belief, your personal belief that's not equal to having 2 feet is your suffering. So far, he has nothing to do with this whole scenario. It's you.
Or if it was me, if it was physical.
Same thing. Can you hear it? Everything you see over here is your nightmare, if that's the case, of what it would be. It's just all your story. It has nothing to do with him so far.
And so how I would experience it would be how I would experience it, but how I think about how it might be that I could experience it creates the problem.
Yes. And you project it over here on your friend.
But by thinking about what it would be like if this, what it would be like if that is my agony.
Yes.
If it comes to pass, it is what it is, and then at that point is for me to handle the issue how it is.
If the way you project it would be onto him is how you separate from him. So you heal it now, and no foot, no tall, no short, no anything, no body, no Frankenstein can separate you ever. You are any separateness that you experience. We are not. You are. Until your beliefs are undone, you don't join us. You use your beliefs to separate from us. And they're as simple as he should have 2 feet. That's simple. So reality, how do I know he shouldn't have 2 feet? He doesn't. And any problem around it, you judge him. You write it all out. You inquire and you turn it around. And then the next time you meet someone with 1 foot or any change whatsoever from what your experience thinks it should be, and you are just totally resonate with that person and that presence, one with, you're healed. You have healed you. You're the one. You're the only one who can. That's why we lose feet, so that you can get squared away here. Everything is for you. No exception.
It's the mirror.
Yes, it's the mirror. 100% accurate. No exception. Let's pass it back to Phil.
I think this relates. It's a question I wrote to you on January 28th, and I'm getting around to it now. But when you were sick for several days, I noticed that in a sense you were enjoying the experience, like something new was happening. And while I could see that your body was affected, your spirit did not seem to be. It was almost like you were an impartial observer of your body not feeling well. But I'll just read it as it states here. Your expression while you were going through this, your expression of the thoughts of violence, which you characterized when Paul was taking care of you, of biting Paul until his skin came off, disturbed me. And can you explain this?
It was a lot of fun. I was running for 3 days. I was running very high fevers. And I got to experience things like beliefs appearing and visions appearing that have not been my norm for 11 years. And I was elated. Paul was caring for me in the way that he would. And he would come near me, this very loving, gentle man, maybe just to bring me a cup of tea. And the belief would come up where I could just bite him and rip his flesh off, and there was no anger there whatsoever. It was a picture, like an old movie from, so prior to this time. And it would be like you were watching a television program or movie. Only difference was it was arising here. It was just a movie. No contact with it, and a lot of fun. It wasn't the usual joy. It was more of a movement into like a funny paper. Like the funny paper column.
Could you explain that a little further? I'm not clear on this thing about seeing yourself bite his...
Oh, I had so many. They would arise.
Was this like a fantasy type of thing?
Not at all. It was like reading a cartoon. It was animated. There was no movement to it. It was just like someone watching the funny paper or a cartoon movie and just enjoying it. And the characters were Paul and I. It was actually a very sweet thing. What is left over, we could say the fever, anything left over. I love any movement. Always watchful for anything that hasn't been undone yet. And as it arose, it was just delightful.
Does that mean it wasn't undone?
No, it's absolutely completely undone. There was no movement at all other than just appreciation for what arises, God. Just a little joke here and there.
Paul gets the joke.
Well, it had nothing to do with Paul.
His skin had nothing to do with it.
Well, no, I didn't bite him. It wasn't a physical thing. It was internal.
But was it only a thought, or was it actually seeing a movie?
Seen a movie. Actually seen a movie. An old movie.
Hmm.
Just a delightful, wonderful child's movie. Not real, just a little different than Prior to a Fever for 11 years. Yeah.
Katie, kind of like what I'm hearing from you, and what I have experienced with sickness is that the reason for my frustration with sickness is it takes me out of being present. It sounds like you are not out of your presence.
No, totally present. Nothing moves that.
But
it would be the same as if you actually bit someone here at the center, actually physically bit them. I wouldn't move to that any more than I would move to the funny papers inside arising. Same.
So all your feelings, all things that come up with and for you are just things.
It's the unchanging, unmoving, unjudging sameness. It doesn't move. It doesn't get high. It doesn't get low. It just stays. And the rest of it, the body just does what it does. It says what it says, does what it does, comes, goes.
So that whatever was happening to your body simply brought you to another thing and another experience and on and on.
I don't know. It was a lot of fun. That's about all I could. I tried to describe it when you and I were talking, and it was just a lot of fun. Not real. Not real. It was just delightful. It's so rare that something different or apparently different seems to appear. If you take, like we could take someone out here and put them over here into this mind, and it could be such a nightmare that they couldn't survive it. They could become so suicidal and depressed that they might not survive it. And from here, it's absolute peace, because there's no interpretation about what arises. There's only love.
Towards that would be
if they experienced my belief system, the belief system within, we could say, the belief system arising, it's all the beliefs of the world. It's not mine. It's not personal. But in the way that it comes together, if they were to come in and experience it, it could be a very difficult nightmare to survive. But from here, it's just absolute. There's a word for it. It's forgiveness. It doesn't even know that there's a nightmare. It doesn't exist except as an illusion, except as God, peace, love. There's no interpretation about it. It just sees innocence. I'm the forgiven one. And so are you. I hated me. I hated you. I see no harm here. I see no harm there. I love myself. I love you. It's just simple. It's just simple. It's the work we're doing here today. We're seeing the nightmare of, I should have 2 feet. Is it true? No. What do I get for holding the belief? I amputate me from God, from pure awareness, my very self. So if the belief arises within me and one who's undone it, I should have 2 feet, it turns out like just a great big smile, and they say, why are you laughing all the time? And you can say, well, I just had the belief that I should have 2 feet. They go, oh, no, oh, you poor thing. Over here, it's just joy. It's undone. There's nothing that can move truth. It's its own pure being. You. Who would you be without your beliefs? Awareness of that. People would name you forgiveness, forgiver. And you wouldn't bother. You wouldn't even step into that belief to move from that sweet place. As we heard Roxanne say, until you do, and look forward to it, because it gives you the one you haven't healed yet, the one you're still attached to. Isn't that fine? Is that love? That's why when I say there's only God, and even the belief arising is that, it arises to be heard, seen, understood. I don't know of a sweeter gift. Yes, Annie. The way it is, it's the perfect setup, the great setup.
Katie, I'm still back there on your existence. Are you pure awareness?
Just turn it around.
I am pure awareness.
Are you pure awareness? Like I could tell you yes, no, and what would it do for you? Ask yourself. Sweetheart, I can tell you honestly, yes, I am, and so are you. The only difference between from here or there, we could say, even that separation, is you're still pretending that you're not.
Pure awareness.
Yes. And because you're holding on to a belief that would keep you from having that because you think it's better.
The belief I'm holding on to is that I exist.
If the belief you hold on to is the one arising that you're not comfortable with, whatever it is, they're all equal. There's not a higher or lower belief or anything else. So, you know what it always comes down to, Karen? Do the work. The work is your freedom. Yes, honey.
Can you hear me? If body follows mind, why was your body sick?
Body doesn't really follow mind, only in duality and cause and effect. Actually, it's absolutely simultaneous, the same one. But in time and space, which is what belief set up, attachment to belief. If you have a belief you just created, that you attach to, you just created time. With no belief, you're timeless, bodiless. So, ask it again. Come from a different direction.
So you're able to shift between pure awareness and duality at will?
No, I don't shift at all. So turn it around. I'm able.
I am able to shift between duality and awareness at will?
Yes.
Yes, and I believe that.
Yes.
Yeah.
To me, reality and pure awareness are the same thing. And the longer you stay in the work, the more you get of that. Or that's what I'm hearing all over this planet now. Yeah, that the space is getting wider and wider.
Did you say duality and pure awareness are the same?
Yes, yes. Everything God, one. There's not this and this. There's just one. Yeah.
So there is no duality?
No, there's no duality. It's just terms we use so that we can come to know the truth within us. Like, you know, it's always so interesting how we get into these discussions, and you can read them in any book. You can read them in the Bible. You can read them in your Buddhism and your Zenism, and it's old. And the work is the experience of it, not just the intellectual of it. Not that when you read you don't get an experience, but it's still just a high or a low. You see, the work leaves you beyond the belief. You're the experiencer. Yes, honey.
I'm going around the second time with the Course in Miracles.
Yes.
And I'm wondering what your experience was. That ego coming up, because the dialogue in in that right now. This no thing is that the ego just doesn't want to give it up, but wants to attach, and that's what we have to drop. Is that true?
Okay, ask it. I don't have to drop anything. I just come to an understanding with it. The truth sets me free. Nothing short of that. So the understanding would be I understand what I thought existed didn't. And here is what I thought existed. I should have 2 feet. I thought that was valid.
Okay.
I thought that was fair. And then when I inquired, when I really took a look at it, the 4 questions, and asked, is it true? And got real with it, I could see that I didn't understand, and now I do. Reality isn't that I should have 2 feet. Fairness isn't that I should have 2 feet. It's the extreme opposite. How do I know? I only have to look at my limbs to see the validity of the higher order. And to align with that is my nature. It's where I resonate. So I'm out of the illusion that anything should exist different than what it is. And some of us are privileged enough to have really profound experiences, like the privilege of losing a foot. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I look forward to all of it. Whatever it takes to experience my pure awareness, that I am. So this, I have to give up the ego? No. In my experience, I just have to see what I thought existed didn't. It was just another story. Yeah.
I feel a little prejudiced. I'm back a few people ago. I don't know your name behind the camera. In regarding her question, I've never heard anyone say in any of these books I've read over the last 20 years, oh, that poor fellow, he's stuck in pure awareness. There's a part of me that sees a better and worse condition between being stuck in pure awareness and being stuck in duality.
That's why we name it duality and cause and effect and all, because we can't, until we look at it, we can't know what there is to undo. I mean, it is our reality now, so absolutely valid. Absolutely valid.
That you can be stuck
but if
in pure
someone's
awareness?
asking... Yes. There's nothing I could do to not be that. Once something's undone, it's undone.
But isn't being stuck in pure awareness
See, there you go with
not a belief?
And there you go, putting power to words again.
Uh-huh.
Okay, just to play with it. And say it again.
Being stuck, phrasing the words as being stuck in pure awareness I'm coming at it from the point of view of it being a belief.
Yes.
But it can't be a belief, right? Because that would be a contradiction. In terms of the words, at least.
Well, what I'm getting when I hear the questions, I don't even know what pure awareness is. I'm just, love joins where it is. Yeah. Someone says pure awareness, I have not a clue what that means at all.
That's honest. I love that.
Yeah.
It's love to hear you when you speak, and it allows me to hear.
We'd love to hear you speak too.
Thank you. When I hear you speak, it allows me, when you tell me to go within, it's so joyful to go within, and I have avoided and procrastinated not going within, and for a long time I would just sit down because I didn't want to go within to question. So if you're sitting here and I would question you, who are you? I want to know more about you, your experience. And for me, I have ripped myself up. Truly raping me of not wanting to know me. And it's just such a joy. I can now allow myself to hear it, and I could justify it and say, well, that book said that, and they were wrong, and Katie's so great. And again, I just see it has been my own resistance and holding on to those beliefs. And also, as I keep hearing, it's just keep giving permission to myself that I'm capable to honoring me and whatever comes up. And as I just even honoring this terror, these fears, these are just the beginning steps even before the things happen. And so it's just like, if I haven't undo this, I can't even face, that war. Yeah. So it's like, wow. Then it becomes fun.
Yes. That's what's meant by, life is good. Life is internal. And yes, it's fun. Yes. Whatever arises, I look forward to it. If it doesn't resonate, it shows me what I haven't healed yet. What a privilege. It arises in me. I'm all time, all space, all things. Every belief that has ever arisen arises in me to be undone. And my name is you. Is that fine?